A good assessment, I think, of like if the routine is serving you is, does it permit freedom? Like structure should permit freedom. Structure shouldn't promote rigidness. So if it's always like, well, we have to go to church at 11 o'clock, we have to go to mass at 4:30 on Saturday. Well, now all of a sudden, like there's a limitation, right? There's a limitation. Your routine limits you, and if you have a limitation, like I said, like yesterday, like I'm finding all my limitations because I'm inflexible.
Hi, welcome back to Marriage Sparks. Thanks for joining us again, and we will continue our conversation from yesterday.
Yeah,
All right, where did we say we were going? We were talking about a lot of things, but I think we're going into
routine.
routine. How routines can be good, but they can also be limiting.
Yeah.
And I don't know, life's an adventure. So how can we balance the two things?
Yeah, I think like a lot of times, like you in our family, for whatever reason, and maybe your family is the same, a lot of our kids, and you are like this too, they need white noise machines, like to go to sleep. There has to be some sound for people to go to sleep. And I get it that I live like in some kind of correctional facility where people are screaming all the time. So maybe that helps to zone everybody out. But I think that the white noise machine is a pattern, and that pattern puts people to sleep.
It's a signal. And you know when it started?
Mm.
When Jake was a baby, our second born. He didn't sleep actually. He didn't sleep for like a year and a half. Might have been 2 years. It was a long time that I still recovering from lack of sleep from that one. He's 15. But it was we had the air conditioner on during the summer and in our room. And then I think just having babies in our room, I just got used to that. And I just remember specifically that summer, but it was like the end of the summer and the air conditioner was off and he had just finally started sleeping. And then all of a sudden he's like, nope. And he needed, I'm like, I used to hate white noise machines. I never want to be in a white noise machine family.
Yep.
And there we were, just the stupid wall units.
Fell into it.
I know. Like I've gone into the hospital on hospital stays and run a white noise machine. Like it's ridiculous.
There's a lot of beeping in the hospital.
Yeah. So actually I highly recommend that.
Well,
I don't recommend hospitals at all, but I'm just saying if you have to be in one, bring your white noise machine.
well, there you go. Well, I mean, but think about
That's
that.
definitely
That's just
off topic. So
well,
I don't think we were talking about white noise machines today.
well, but it is like a part of like the white noise machine is like symbolic for like, patterns.
Yeah.
And patterns put people to sleep, right?
Right.
So we all have like these patterns that we have, and we have our own will. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to take, and again, then we have weird expectations from society's programming. All my kids have to do karate. All my kids have to be in activity. I have to do this on Friday. We have to do this on Saturday. And in a lot of ways, I feel like routines can be really good. And I feel like for myself, I feel like the routines, there are things that I want to have routine that are really life-giving, but I really don't do those things. And what I end up doing a lot of the time is I do things that are just prescribed by, the chaos of life. And I don't actually seek out a relationship with God. I just have to do what I have to do for work. And then I do this, and then I do that. And
Well,
then
because we do what's urgent.
yeah, but then that's just a reactive way of life, right? There's not like,
So routine sometimes can make sure that we get things done that need to be done, that the important things are accomplished.
yeah, and that they can be, but I feel like they also put you to sleep where you don't hear God. You don't hear what God wants you to do with your marriage, with how do you parent your older kid? How do you deal with your younger kid who's getting into trouble? How do you deal with the fact that your wife or your husband is upset with things or struggling with something? What does God want for your career? What does God want with your work? And I think a lot of times in those routines, you just
Did you know there are two kinds of desire in marriage? One just shows up. The other has to be built. Most couples only wait for spontaneous desire, the kind that feels automatic. But over time, that one fades and fluctuates. Responsive desire is different. It grows from closeness, from touch, from emotional safety, from friendship. And when you understand the difference, everything changes. We created a free guide called Into Me You See, a couple's guide to true intimacy to help you rebuild trust, lower pressure around sex, and develop desire in a healthy, natural way. If you want deeper emotional and physical connection, download it now. It's free. Click the link in show notes or go to heartsrenewed.org and start tonight.
I'm going to do it myself. And again, as soon as novelty wears off, then you have the word that a lot of times people use is slippage. Like all of a sudden, it's like we can get married, me and you get married, and it's a lot of fun, and we have the honeymoon stage of our relationship. I'm like, well, great, we're married now. We can move on. And then, years go by and then we're roommates. And
Yeah.
they're like, how did that happen? Well, it happened because was in a hurry to take the kids to school every morning and we never talked. It happened because, I wanted to stay up late and play a video game or watch a show or whatever it is, and you wanted to go to bed. And these weird things that don't seem like big deals, these routines, these things put us to sleep to the adventure of marriage, to what God wants for people's marriages. And then you're not connected. And then you feel like people are like, oh, I feel like a roommate. And I think that that's something like you want to be aware of your routines. I think,
So how can you break from the routines when it's necessary or good or I mean, it's not something you normally do, but yeah. And just ask yourself, how can it be open to that?
mhm,
How can you break from the routine? And sometimes it's just some things in front of you. Weird example. I didn't even tell you this morning. Somebody was requesting something on Facebook. It was an old lady from church who needed a ride. Her husband was going in the hospital and she was very sick. And so my first thought was, I really don't want to go drive her to the store. I'm like, okay, but I'm like, but I should. Like, I'll call her and see. But I'm like, because we said we would do this, and I have bread to make. We have a podcast to do. I have school to get. I'm like, but can I do it? Like I can. You know what I mean?
mhm,
Like it was possible. So I called her. Turns out somebody else had already gotten there first. So she had a ride. But I was like, okay, because otherwise I think I would have gone through the day looking back, like, why wouldn't you help the person in front of you? Just
yeah,
because you had again, I was a Wednesday routine. We do this on Wednesday. Like, no, there's a person in front who needs help, or there's a person in front who's bidding for connection, or a
mhm,
person in front, which was funny. Yeah, the 6-year-old today, can you play Legos with me? And I'm like, but it's school time and that's important. But I'm like, okay, let's make a deal. If you do this, this, and this, I'll play Legos because I love to spend time with you. So how can we do it while still maintaining a good balance? I don't know. It looks different for everybody or every different situation.
yeah. But I think a good assessment, I think of like if the routine is serving you is does it permit freedom? Like structure should permit freedom. Structure shouldn't promote rigidness. So if it's always like, well, we have to go to church at 11 o'clock, we have to go to mass at 4:30 on Saturday. Well, now all of a sudden, like there's a limitation, right? There's a limitation. Your routine limits you, and if you have a limitation, like I said, like yesterday, like I'm finding all my limitations because I'm inflexible. And like I like routine. I like routine in a very intense way. I used to joke with people
Mhm.
that a day without habits was a bad day.
Put
Yeah.
your socks on at 2:30.
That was 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
That was a little weird. Welcome to being married to me, though, right?
That's just an inside joke. Like, "Why are you putting your
Well,
sock where are you going? What are you doing?" Like, as he's putting his
I,
socks on, he's like, "Well, it's 3
mm,
o'clock."
I don't even
Okay.
know why I said
I
that, but apparently that was one of the most awkward moments of early married life.
I don't know.
There's no reasoning behind that, just so we're all aware. So if you have a routine, does the routine promote freedom? Can you be responsive to your spouse? Can you be responsive to the needs in the community? Can you be available to God? Or are you trying to direct God? Are you trying to direct God in your marriage? Are you trying to direct your kids? Or are you loving your kids? I mean, there has to be some routines, but I think like,
Especially kids thrive on routine,
yeah,
which is I mean, one of our my favorite traditions or routines that we do on a regular basis is probably Sunday brunch, but we're also not married to it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I feel like we go to a certain mass, like you said, mass time, and then we come home and we all have brunch together. It's one of the definitely like we try to make sure we prioritize family meals, but it's one of the few of the week that we're all together.
yeah,
So it's kind of cool. And that's it's just good. And I've enjoyed it and it's sometimes gone different, different places or different times, whatever. But this weekend we went somewhere else. We did a different mass.
yeah,
We did something different. And it was good because the I think the goal is being together or doing things with family and
yeah.
friends or whatever. And we still are protecting that I guess the main focus, but did it in a different way.
Yeah, and I think that that's the thing that when you look at Sunday, and I think that this is something that this has become more and more of my focus in the last month probably is, that ability for, you to slow down, right? Because I feel like, especially with the amount of complex things, the business stuff, the work stuff, the parenting stuff, the kids stuff, all of a sudden you're going really fast. And so I think one of the biggest things that has been helpful for me to reflect on, I don't do this well. This is one of my goals for this year is really to institute more of like a Sabbath time. And Sabbath being like to stop. That's what the word actually means is to stop. So that because it will change the intensity of like my week because I am a person who will get stressed, but that's because I'm going very fast in my head. And that's no good because then if I'm going fast, I can't be present to my spouse. I can't be present to children. I can't be present to the people I serve. And most importantly, I'm not really going to be listening to God. I'm going to be trying to get through my day. And I think that that's really like what I would encourage people to root out is this whole idea of routines as like this idea of almost escape from your life. Like I'm just going to do my routine and then to what end? This is your life. And so the thing about routines that I guess, or whatever you want to call it, is we need to be awake to our life. And I think that one of the things, I think this is where we can go tomorrow with everybody is we really have to figure out a place to stop so that we don't just slip into these places where we don't know our spouse. We don't feel loved by our husband or wife. We don't know anything that's going on with our kids because
Mhm.
all of a sudden, you're in crisis, right? You're in a health crisis. You're in a crisis with a teenager, you're in an issue with finances, and now you're having like these urgent things. But if we were going slower and we were really taking in the joy of our life that God wants, we'd have more enjoyment. Well, but then I think you have more enjoyment in your life if you have more stoppage, right? You have this Sabbath because I've been trying to figure out how do we get more joy or
Yeah.
how do I enjoy my life? Because this has been a conversation we've had for a long time. Is my wife, you'll say to me, I just want you to really enjoy your life. And if I don't do that, that really has a negative impact on our whole marriage, our whole family. And so I encourage you to, come back tomorrow. We're going to talk about how to really put together a Sabbath so that you have enjoyment, so that you can really connect to your children, your spouse, and enjoy the life that God has for you. So your marriage is, joyful. It's not just like this experience of drudgery of, I gotta get through Monday, I gotta get through Tuesday, I gotta get through Thursday. Because, yeah, who doesn't want to go to sleep? There'll always be laundry, there'll always be the work, there'll always be a bill, there'll always be a problem with your car, but you'll blink and all your kids will be out of the house. You and your spouse will be older than you were 10 years ago. And will you have enjoyed your life? So come back tomorrow. We will talk to you then. Keep us in your prayers. Again, we will,